Hey folks, Mr. Carter here, trying out a video lesson of lesson 6.9 for math. So if you don't have a paper and pencil handy, you're going to need that. We're going to do a little bit of slate work. So we'll go ahead and pause the video. I'll give you some minutes to a minute to go grab a piece of paper and a pencil to do this. Okay. So here we are. We have a compass rose here saying north, east, south, and west. So you're going to need to write down the answers to the following questions on your paper. So for example, if you face north and you do a full clockwise turn, where do you end up? Go ahead and write your answer. The answer is north. Okay, next question. Now you're going to do a whole, now that you're on north, you're going to do a whole other full turn clockwise. I'm sorry, counterclockwise, my apologies. And where do you end up? Once again, you end up facing north. Okay, let's do the next one. So once again, you're going to have the compass rose, north, east, south, and west. Now, this time you're facing south, and you're going to do a half turn clockwise. Where does that land you? Go ahead and write your answer down on your paper. The answer for that is north. Again, if you were south and you did a half turn clockwise, that would be this direction, you would end up in north. Now you're at north. Do another half turn counterclockwise. And where do you end up? Go ahead and write your answer down on your paper. Okay, the answer is south. So yeah, so if you're facing north and you did a half turn counterclockwise, it would be in this direction, you would end up going south. So now, again, you have a compass rose, and you have 3 questions this time. This time you start out facing north. You do a half turn clockwise. Where do you end up? Write that down in your paper. The answer is south. Now that you're south, so you're going to start at south, you're going to do a quarter turn counterclockwise. So again, counterclockwise. Where do you end up? Write that down. Okay. The answer is east. So if you started south, you did a quarter turn counterclockwise, you would end up here at east. Now you're looking east. And from here, you got to do a 3/4 turn counterclockwise. So again, you start at east, 3/4 turn counterclockwise. Where do you end up? Okay. Write your answer. The answer is south. So again, if you started east and you did a 3/4 turn counterclockwise, you're going 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, you end up south. Okay, let's go to our math message down here. Okay, now we're on math message, and it says here, Max measured an angle. He said the angle is 4 centimeters wide, as you can see here by the ruler. Does this measurement make sense? Be prepared to explain why or why not. So let's talk about this. So let's say, yeah, you look at the ruler and it does go to 4 centimeters, so that would make sense. However, if I shifted the ruler a little bit to the left, like maybe over here, then it would only be 3 centimeters. So it brings to the question, why does this not make sense? Well, because we don't measure angles using a ruler. We measure angles using what we call a protractor or a measure angler. Angle measurer. Getting my words mixed up today. Okay, so let's take a look over here. Now we're going to make a measure angler, and that just went away. Where'd it go? Okay, so let's go to that here. Just turn it around. All right. So, over here, you're going to need to make your angle measure. You're going to need one of these sheets here, and I like using parchment paper. So if you have that handy, because what's cool about parchment paper is that you can see through it, which will help you when you need to make your angle measure. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these squares and you're going to just cut them out because we're going to trace the circle onto the parchment paper. So we're just going to cut, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the circle out. Okay, like so. And once you have it cut out, I'm going to grab my parchment paper and I'm just going to trace that on there. Let's see. So that we have the right size. Trace the circle. Right, so, okay, then you're going to cut out your parchment paper. It probably would have been just quicker to go ahead and trace the circle right onto the paper from the paper, but anyway. All right. So you have your piece of parchment paper. You're going to start by just simply folding your circle in half. So now I'm going to zoom in. So you have a half circle. And you're going to open your circle up and you'll see the nice fold there. You're going to make two measurements. You're going to make one dot here and another line over here. Well, this, we're going to start, and it's going to be our 360 degree mark. And don't forget your little degree symbol. And we know that a half circle, so if you go all the way down here, is 180 degrees. You guys see that? So we have 0, 360, and I'm going to have 180 degrees here. There we go. So we have two marks measured already. We have our 0, 360 mark and our 180 degree mark. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in that half that you just did it before. So you're going to fold your circle into quarters this time. Okay. And then we're going to open the circle back up. You're now going to make a mark over here, which we know is a quarter turn, and a quarter turn, as you know, is 90 degrees. So that's where you're going to mark your 90 degree mark. Now we have 180 over here, and we know on this side is our 3/4 mark, and we know that between each quarter is 90 degrees. So if you go 180 plus 90 more degrees, you're going to end up at 270 degrees. So there you go. That's 270. So now what you're going to do is fold it in half like you did at the first time, and you're going to fold it into quarters like you did. And now you're going to fold it into eighths. And make another fold like that. Okay, that's going to give us some more angles to mark off in our circle. So when you open it up, you should have a fold in between 0 and 90. That's halfway between 0 and 90. So you're going to put a mark here, and that angle is half of 90, which would be 45 degrees. So every eighth of the circle is going to be another 45 degrees. So 45, then if you add 45, you hit 90. So over here at this fold, if you go 90 plus your 45, you're going to end up with 135 degrees over here. So you go another, there. You know if you got that first time. So we got 0, 45. So every eighth is 45 degrees. And you go 45 plus 45, you get 90. 90 plus 45, you get 135. 135 plus 45, you get you 80. So over here, you have another mark, and that's going to be 180 plus another 45. We'll give you 225 degrees. That brings you to 270. So between 270 and 360, to add 45 degrees to 270, that's going to bring you to 350. And I'm going to make sure that I put my little degree symbol next to all my degrees. There we go. That, my friends, is how you make angle measurement. Okay, now what you're going to do is I want you to go to journal page, let's scroll out here, journal page 213. It's for lesson 6-9. And it says here, and I'm sorry it's a little blurry, but it says here, identify each angle as acute, right, straight, or obtuse. Use your angle measurer, which is what we just made here, to measure the angles on this page. Record your measurements in the table, then circle the right angle below. So if you're looking at angle A, which is down here, now you want to put your, so how we're going to use this is you're going to want to put your 0 degree line on the ray here. This is a ray that starts the arc. So in this case, the arc is that little arrow in between. So you want to put your 0/360 line on that line there. So that's what I'm going to do. So watch, it says 0/360. So I'm going to just line that up. Put a little circle here. You want to put your center where all the folds met, right on your vertex. So if I'm looking, and that's why I use parchment paper, you can kind of see in between that this angle goes to about 45 degrees. So this, my friends, is an acute angle. So up here, you're going to write acute, and it measures about 45 degrees. And you don't have to write the degree symbol because it's already right there for you. Okay, so that's 45 degrees. All right. So let's go to angle B. So once again, you're going to notice where your arc is. You want to put that 0/360 line on that line that starts the angle. So I'm going to take my 0/360 line and I'm going to put the center here right on the vertex B. I'm going to line up the 0/360, and I'm going to notice that it ends up being about 90 degrees. You can see here on the angle measure, it ends up at 90 degrees. So what we know about a 90-degree angle is that it's a right angle. So it's a right angle and it's about 90 degrees. Okay, so let's look at angle C. So once again, the arc starts here, so that's where I'm going to put my 0/360 line on my angle measure, and I'm going to go all the way to where the arc ends. Okay, so again, 0/360, and I'm going to go all the way here. And I'm noticing it doesn't quite hit a line. It's in between 90 and 135, so it's not exactly 135, and it's not exactly 90. So I'm going to start here with my measurement, and I'm going to say, well, that's between 90 degrees and 135 degrees. And we know that angles between 90 and 135 are obtuse angles. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let you do D, E, and F on your own, see how you do with that. And we can check in later.